God, Adam, I thought you were...
Royalty?
No, not even close.
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
Oh my God! You fixed it! Holy crap, Engineer Adam! You fixed the intro! Oh God, I have to be honest. I had never realized the gaping void that was left in my life until last week with Victor's thing.
You ruined everything I did!
Do not listen to him. You are a national treasure.
You're welcome!
You shut the hell up, Adam!
Wait. Hold on. Engineer Adam, weren't you dead?
I was! I got bored!
That doesn't explain a damn thing.
It's the magic of Easter!
Oh, Adam, shut up.
At the risk of incurring the wrath of our patron saint, Mr. Pacino, that is exactly what we're going to do. Instead of a useful, productive hour, it will be replaced with two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions that they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. With that said, if for some god-awful reason you enjoy wasting the precious little time you have on this earth, like, I don't know, tracking down someone to whom you can sell your stocks of North Korean rocket manufacturer Rock IT. I know it's probably pronounced Rock It, but let's be honest, it flies like a rock. A exploding rock.
What?
It blew up. It wasn't good.
Okay.
Search for Another Wasted Hour on social media sites. Share, follow, mention, like, and review us. Also, please subscribe to Another Wasted Hour on iTunes, Google Play Music, or Stitcher, and review us there, too. Our goal is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, culture, as impossible as that may seem. So, now that you know why you're here, I'm Keith, and across from me is my co-host, Victor. Victor, why the hell are you here this week?
I have solved the giraffe mystery.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Was it a piñata like we thought?
Yes, that's exactly it. No. Giraffes apparently have they have the incubation period for the parasite that they grow within them.
Yes,
when they're pregnant,
a baby.
And there's like a 2-month period, grace period, where they might give birth. Like it's like people after 9 months they give birth, and that's considered the normal amount.
Sure.
But some women go to 40 weeks, 41 weeks, 42 weeks.
Yeah.
After that they usually induce, but it's a normal thing. So at the beginning of these 2 months, they're like, the giraffe is in labor, and giraffe was like, no, I'm just hungry,
That's just a little gas. I'm sorry.
It could be straight up another month before this thing finally happens.
Oh my goodness, but hasn't it already happened? You are so behind the times, Victor.
Wait, what?
There is a baby giraffe in the world.
See, I never learned to read. I never learned to read. Leave me alone.
Bastard. April the giraffe has finally had, I assume, May the giraffe? I don't know what the giraffe's name. I don't know what the baby giraffe's name is, I'll be honest. But it looks like a really long-necked Bambi as it tries to walk around.
This is stupid. I had that whole spiel like, okay, I'm intelligent. I got you. I'm going home.
You ruined it all, Victor, as you normally do.
I ruined Easter.
Yes. Well, Victor, you're probably wondering why I'm here, and I'm glad
I wasn't going to ask because I don't care.
I'm glad you asked like you do each week. I am going into public relations. I figured with all these fuck-ups, there's got to be an opening somewhere, and if these idiots can do it, so can I. First, we had a pasty white woman at the Black Lives Matter rally handing out Pepsis to the cops in a Pepsi ad. Pepsi's thinking they've just pulled off the worst PR blunder of the entire year. Nope. United says, hold my beer, and drags an unconscious man off of an airplane because they forgot how to count. And they're like, well, it couldn't get any worse than this. Until Sean Spicer shouts, back the fuck up! And drops the PR microphone by saying, Hitler wasn't that bad.
Right. He didn't use gas on his own people, with 6 million exceptions. But
right. Seriously, isn't that like a day one PR school lesson? Like, repeat after me, class. Hitler was really, really bad. And he's like, he made great roads. It's like, go to the principal's office, Sean. Like, I drive a VW and I find it remarkably reliable and affordable. One word out of you, Heinrich, and you will be joining Mr. Spicer.
Oh my gosh.
The Nazis had socialized medicine. That was not what people were complaining about, Republicans. God damn it.
Yeah, but I feel like rule number 2 is just keep your damn mouth shut.
I could
Don't say anything.
I could actually do his job. Watch here. Sean Spicer is a worse press secretary than Nazi press secretary Joseph Goebbels. I think more people would agree with me because he might be the worst one ever in the history of the United States. Name a worse press secretary. Nope. Name a press secretary. Nobody knows anything.
Engineer Adam.
Yeah, I like that his argument was like, first he was like, he didn't use chemical weapons, and they were like, oh, there's the and he's like, well, like not on his own people, like Christians, is that what you're saying? 'Cause that doesn't make it better. And like, no, so Assad like went into a village and used it on a village, and they're like, they weren't like in, and he says they weren't in a Holocaust center. First of all, that's not what they're called.
Come on,
Second of all, what you're saying is if you round up the people first, then it's fine. So basically, genocide is all about location. Is that
if you plan it well ahead of time,
yeah, then
everything will be okay.
He basically is saying like, well, those people probably shouldn't have gone there. They were called Holocaust centers. They should have seen it coming.
Right.
Like, don't go to the Holocaust center if you don't want to die.
Why would you sign in at the front desk?
Yeah,
Just
that's ridiculous.
Just go home.
You do know this is a Holocaust center, right? Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad. Walmart.
I thought this
Direct
was
me to Walmart.
I thought this was a patisserie. So this is in the YMCA. You have showers, and then they were like, "Oh, right this way," and like that. I don't understand this guy, how he has a job still. Somebody needs to fire him immediately. So a person we need to make sure isn't fired, however, is our guest today, who has been staring at us like, these people are crazy. And your name, I found out that I got this wrong, right? I saw JDVBBS.
Yes.
That's what I announced last week.
There are no vowels.
Those are the
Has to be-
letters
has to be German.
KEITH and VICTOR.
Yeah. Like,
So that's how we're all going.
Right. So that's what
Perfect.
I saw as your name, but it's not pronounced a list of letters.
No.
You have corrected me. It is
J-Dubs.
J-Dubs. How did you get J-Dubs?
J-Dubs was born out of it was born out of a graphic design draft.
Okay.
And an Xbox gamer tag, actually.
Really?
So and we were trying to come up with a name.
Okay.
Which was one of I guess most people already have that, and so we went through me and a friend of mine at the time went through kind of like a brainstorm to be like, oh, what should we call you? And I was like, well, my friends call me J-Dubs, and then college friends call me something else.
Right.
So I'm not quite sure, but let's take it to the girl who wanted to do the logo.
And you
then
put
my mom,
J-Dubs into Xbox, and they were like, would you like J-Dubs 247?
Right.
And you
Yeah,
were like,
of course.
no,
I was like,
no,
no.
not at
So-
all. That's terrible.
but that was years prior. So my mom
Yeah.
calls me and she's like, hey, which one, what's your password? I need to watch Netflix on your Xbox. And I was like, it's this. And she was like, why is there a V in J-Dubs? And I was like, Mom, I gotta call you back. I was like, I just had a stroke of genius, Mama. I immediately called the girl who did my logo, and I was like, "You do one with a V just to see what it looks like."
yeah.
And we rolled with it.
Nice.
How proud is your mom that she named your your music identity?
She's got to be. What's funny is if you go to the website, the background is my first ever show, as J-Dubs at least.
Sure.
At Jam and Java. And my mom's front row, super fresh, just got the J-Dubs t-shirt on.
Already?
Yeah.
At the start of the first show, she was like, I'm here to see this band.
the merch came to her house, and she was like, I opened the box, and now I have one.
Now I have one.
I'm going to need you to be okay with that.
Right. You're like, they're $10. Oh, that's hilarious.
She's wearing 11 of them,
Storage
so she
fees.
just take them off and sell them.
Now, a lot of people don't know that that's actually pretty traditional, using the V instead of the
Yes.
U. That comes back from Latin, I think it is. Or
Yeah, it's
what's the
an
background on that?
it's like an early language adaptation. I think it's really cool. I got started much more in the hip hop game.
Yeah.
And like hip hoppers are always misspelling stuff, but I thought it would be cool to have some sort of reasoning behind it. And I try to be very, very particular, I think, when it comes to language in my lyrics. So I think it was really important to me that there was like, we didn't want to make it a V because it looks cool.
Yeah.
And we had the idea before Churches dropped their first album.
I
I don't think we beat them to it, but like
before they made it.
yeah, but like before my logo, like their album dropped before my logo was done for
Selfish
certain.
bastards.
So they definitely got to it first. There's also a Canadian EDM group named Dubs, and it's spelled the same way, just without the J.
Oh,
So
no.
I got a lot of pushback about
You're gonna have
that.
to fight them.
But now I'm winning the SEO battle, so
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good.
it took some time. But
Don't worry, when the karmic meteor wipes out the entire United States, part of Canada will probably go with them.
Well,
So,
I think they're from Vancouver. So
bastards.
I will take a V over a U way before I take the $sign over an S.
oh, really?
Yeah, I can't stand take the S and make it a $sign.
You take that back.
What? Oh, Kesha
Take
is
it back.
is your girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel a certain way about Kesha, I'll be honest. In like a certain positive way about
I'm not
Kesha.
saying that the person's bad. Just the $sign and the S just lacks some kind of inspiration. I think.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
It's been overdone.
Yeah, it's way too easy.
Don't make me come over to your side of the room.
So we're gonna play a song of yours called Miss Cinderella. The entire track's gonna be at the 1 hour mark of this show. So if people want to fast forward to that, we'll play a little of that a little later so
Sweet.
people can get a sense of it. And you've got a show coming up on April 29th at Dr. Clock's Nowhere Bar in Adams Morgan, which is down in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Right? So we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later as well.
Awesome.
In the meantime, we're going to move on to something we like to do every week, which is called the Weather Report.
So these are actual headlines that happened more or less around this date about this week. You can decide whether or not it should have been news
Okay.
because
Probably
some
about
of this stuff is
70-30. It's probably it's the over-under, I suppose.
You can use whatever criteria you feel you need to. There is no line in the sand here.
Well, first up, Shaquille O'Neal. The world is flat and satellite imagery is fake.
Well, satellite imagery is flat, so it makes perfect sense.
Well, he has joined the ranks of celebrities who sincerely believe the world is flat. He says, so listen, I drive from coast to coast, and this shit is flat to me, he continues. I drive from Florida to California all the time. It's flat. Like, mountains at least? I mean, come on, guy. Come on.
I don't count that bit. Okay, that is not flat, but it is also not round. It
The
is
fact
pokey.
that you drive up a mountain and then you can see over the mountain. You can't see California from there because the earth is motherfucking round.
Who's the other? Was it Kyrie Irving? Is that the guy who
Yep,
said
yeah.
like just a few months ago that he was on this band? They have to just be joining. They're all getting together and doing like a secret handshake, be like, we're gonna
Right.
fuck with people. Watch this.
Them and the Scientologists are like, yeah.
They're like, watch white people go crazy. We think the world is flat, and then white people are like, what? No science.
We're upset over things that don't affect us.
Because I had black friends in high school, and like their job was to fuck with you. Like that was their mission. Like,
Spoiler alert.
right? Like they would be like, "Did you do your homework last night?" No, I was too busy thinking of ways to fuck with you. Like that was their goal.
There was no time. There was no time.
It was that and talking about your mom, and that was 1 and 2, and then it was like succeeding at life and
Yeah, like-
other things.
Oh, man. I do miss Yo Mama jokes, though.
Yeah,
We just had to win the news cycle. That's all.
it was dozens, right? That's what they called it, the dozens.
Yes, playing the dozens.
Yeah, and
it's a
you
little
would
bit before my time. I don't think I've ever used the phrase "playing the dozens,"
Oh,
but
see,
that's
I'm older than you
Yeah.
are. Yeah. But yeah, they would just sit in a circle and just joan on each other. And then everyone would go, "Oh, damn!"
Right.
But like, I feel like solid life skills, because now like, if someone for some reason has mean things to say about me, I was like, me and my friends been doing this shit for years. Like, like sticks and stones
It's so
may
good.
break my bones, but words will. If they did at one point in time,
Completely
they definitely
immune.
will not anymore.
Is there such a thing as an African American safe space? Like, or does that whole community be like, we're good. That's fine. Just say whatever. We don't care.
Yeah, I think it depends. I can report back. One of my best friends is getting married on Saturday, and it's gonna be a while since the four of us were in the same room together.
Yeah.
So we'll see if any feelings get hurt.
I'm curious.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah.
And I'll report back to you.
Oh,
To quote my favorite card in Cards Against Humanity, just the way white people is.
Yeah. I like to
You
think
mentioned safe space, so like, come on.
There's no bass in Playing the Dozens.
Right.
I like to think that people just come up to Shaq now. It's just to weed people out, right? So people
Right.
come up and are like, Shaq, I also think the world's fun. And he's like, nope. That was just a trap.
He just steps on him with his size 23 sneakers.
So is it news or not news that Shaq believes that the world is flat and satellites are made out of paper mache?
Believes in quotations.
I don't think it's news.
Not news.
Not news.
Oh my
Damn it.
goodness. All right.
Oh, this
fair
is
enough.
a score-keeping thing.
Yeah, well, right.
Kind of.
We're a little
Okay.
competitive.
It's only
All right.
competitive if I win.
right.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not a competition.
Fair enough.
All right, what I have for you, I think this is a pretty good news item. A Wells Fargo exec in New Jersey was fired for not scamming their customers.
Oh.
So I don't know if you remember this, but Wells Fargo basically was found guilty of a scheme where they were making people accounts without their permission.
Right.
And selling them things, but not even telling them about it. Right. So apparently this former assistant vice president and regional private banker at the Highlands Park branch is now suing Wells Fargo because they wanted her to manipulate accounts and sell banking products or investments that were not in the in the customer's best interests or without their knowledge. And she said, no. And
No,
they
I'm
went,
good.
You're fired. Which has to be the most blatant way to be a criminal, to just say,
Right.
do illegal things. No.
Get out.
Please? You would think, be like, okay, don't tell anyone what we just told you. Here's some money. You can go now.
You can go.
But
Right.
you're like, get the fuck out. Only criminals are allowed in here.
Wow.
So is
That's
that
crazy.
news or not news?
It is news because I've been searching for a new bank for a long time, and now I'm like, shit, I gotta expedite the process.
Yeah.
You guys are still fucking up.
Yeah, so Wells Fargo, is that where you're on?
That's where I'm at.
Here is how you know that you should have probably gotten away from Wells Fargo earlier, and that is that their logo is just a wagon, right? So they're a little behind the times if they're like, hey guys, you know what's going to make you feel confident about our company? Wagons. That's not secure.
Well, it's not.
Literally, there's a thing called stagecoach robbers. That's how easy it was.
There weren't any doors on the thing.
Why don't just put a safe on there? I don't understand. Hey, remember the old times when we used to get robbed a lot?
And you can tell me it was Sam Cooper and the Sleepwalkers, right?
Yes, exactly. So move
That's
on that
news.
as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'll send some emails in the morning.
Well, the world's oldest person turns 117 this year.
Shut your whole mouth.
She was born,
it.
Violet Brown, Jamaican, was born in 1900.
That's nuts.
Yeah, she lived through suffrage, the Great Depression, both world wars, the civil rights movement, all this nonsense. She's just been around chilling.
You think Trump got elected and everyone else was like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. And she was like, I've seen worse.
I survived literally everything ever.
Literally, I was alive when Hitler was around.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, people. Calm down.
Right.
She's like, I got this.
Chill
It
out.
says, this is how they wrote it. It says, she says she abstains from what she called rum and them things. That's how they wrote it.
Rum and them things.
And then
I
just
like that they
them
wrote
things.
it like Mark Twain would have written it.
Right.
So,
I wanted to practice my Jamaican accent so I could read more of what she wrote, but
It's not.
it's terrible. I'm not even going to try.
What accent are you good at?
I can do the Indian accent.
Do it in an Indian accent.
Okay. She says, where is it? You must honor your mother and your father, so your days may be long. she said, quoting the Old Testament.
From Jamaica.
And she was around for it.
Right. She was around for the Old Testament.
She signed her name at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Right. John Hancock, Violet Brown.
Quoting herself,
Yes.
writing the Old Testament.
So what do you think? News, not news?
I think news.
Yeah.
I remember in elementary school, we met a lady. I couldn't tell you what her name was. She was 120 years old.
Yeah.
There's carting her around like doing assemblies in elementary school. Like she had the
Wow.
energy to do it. 120 years
It wasn't that she had the energy to do it. She didn't have the energy to stop people from making her do it. Stop doing this. I hate kids.
I
Shut
hate
up.
this.
You're going to an elementary
Yeah.
school.
Because if I make it to 60, I think I'm good. I'll be like, all right.
They had a lady, I don't know if you saw this, but during the election, they had a lady who was like a representative from South Carolina or something. It's one of the reps for the like region when they went to the Democratic convention.
Mm-hmm.
And she like made an official vote for her state. She was one of the like electoral college people or super candidates or whatever.
Whatever
Yeah.
it is.
And so she voted for Hillary Clinton in the primaries, right? But she was around when she couldn't vote. Like she was so old that she was at a point where she couldn't vote, and now she could actually vote for who could have been like the first female president. I thought it was really cool. So
Nice.
all right. Well, let's see. What do I have next? Oh, this one's good. Okay. Excellent. Now this is gonna sound like the beginning of a joke, but it's not. So a turkey walks into a Walmart and a greeter gets fired.
a greeter?
So it says, here's the quote from it. It starts, it goes back, then it walks out. Bob Tallinger said of the turkey, Tallinger explained to the moment, the wild turkey walked right past him into a Walmart. His 8 years as a greeter in the store, he had never seen anything like it. Then he was fired.
A greeter as in like what? He stands at the front, like
Yeah.
loss prevention type of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And he said, for what? And they said, you should have not let the turkey in here. That's part of your job.
He had a membership.
Apparently, I guess he didn't help get the turkey out, and they fired him for it. Usually graders are pretty old, so I don't know how old this guy was, but maybe he shouldn't be running after a turkey. But
Turkeys are mean, man.
Yeah.
I just like the headline. Turkey walks into a Walmart, a greeter gets fired. I'm like, what?
What's the difference between apples and oranges?
What?
Because bicycles don't have wings.
Random. Okay, so is that news or not
Is it
news?
news?
Yes. A turkey walks into a Walmart and a greeter gets fired.
What's funny is I think a greeter gets fired because a turkey walked into a Walmart is a newsworthy headline. But I think the other way around, it's not news.
It's not
I think the way
news.
that it currently is, it's not news.
So just because of the wording, it is no longer legitimate.
But they knew what they were doing. Like more people read it
sure.
because of it. But
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, fine. I'll take my loss on that one.
I'll give you half a point.
No.
Okay.
We have rules. All right, let's see. Oh, I have another one. Okay, this is awesome. So in the theme of Walmart, you'll see this theme develop. A professor is suing Walmart for claiming that he was a toilet cleaner. Apparently you can do that. I didn't know that. A Montana State University professor is suing Walmart for libel after he says an employee at the Bozeman store listed his occupation on a fishing license as toilet cleaner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. So apparently you're
Whatever,
not allowed.
man.
I would put toilet cleaner on every license.
Take it with dignity.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with a toilet cleaner?
It's an honorable job.
I know.
Someone's got to do it.
Those people work hard.
Is it news, though, is the question.
Is it he's suing them?
Yes, he is suing them for libel for saying he's a toilet cleaner.
Libel's not a word you hear
And Mr.
often
Clean
enough.
is like in the
right.
corner being like, what the fuck? Come at me, man. Seriously.
Oh no, I wouldn't want to mess with Mr. Clean.
No.
That guy
Yeah,
is
I
jacked.
think there are certain things, and it's not ideal, but it's
Right.
just certain things where like someone gets fired over blah blah blah. The turkey walking. Someone sues over blah blah blah, and they're
Yeah.
always news. And so
Yeah.
I think this one's news.
It's news. All right. Well,
think it's
finishing
news.
up, you want to do your last one?
All right. Keeping the theme of animals at large without leashes, escape from the zoo, blah, 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 whatever you want to. Huge herd of cows invade train platform in Kent. And it's just, it's a train station, and there's just a line of cows, and they're all looking down the track as if like, when's the next one coming? They're ready to go.
Is this the food train? We're looking for the food
Right.
train. Where there's a chow train.
They completely shut down the rail system because they didn't know what to do.
They're just,
How do we give them a ride? Is what I say. You know?
well, they were like field, tracks. What the fuck?
How did we get
and
here?
they just sat there like, I don't know what to do now. I just know field.
Well,
That's all I know.
One of them fell. There's a considerable distance between the platform and the tracks.
Oh, so they were on the platform, not on the track.
They were chilling on the platform, waiting for the train, but one of them fell in. I guess it got a little crowded because there's like 800 of them, and they're like, "Well, how do we? You're big. Go call that honey badger. He'll drag it up back on the platform."
Now, J-Dubs, you're wondering, how do a bunch of cows get onto a train
It's
platform?
definitely news because I need to read it to figure out how that happened.
And we don't know exactly how they got on the platform, but we do know that a train greeter was fired.
For sure.
Unfortunately, both rolling stock and train crew are now in the wrong places, so please bear with us while the service returns to normal.
This happened today?
So
Are they gone?
This
week?
earlier this week.
Yeah.
I need to know all of the information about this.
we'll get that to you.
I'll send you the link.
We will tweet you.
Thanks.
All right, so I think it's about a tie. So tiebreaker might be. So I have a story about Gwyneth Paltrow might be trying to kill you.
No, dude, we're out of time. We gotta move on.
Oh, are we? Okay, we're out of time. So next week we will
not
have
news.
to go.
It's not news also.
We'll have to go into that as
She's been
to
trying to kill us for a while
why
now.
why Gwyneth Paltrow might be trying to kill you. Instead, we are going to go into some details about why J-Dubs might be trying to kill you.
With kindness.
Yes, with kindness.
In good tunes,
With good
ideally.
tunes. He's trying to just beat your heart with this massive rhythm. So we said first and foremost, we've got a really big show coming up
Yes.
down in DC. Tell us a little bit about this show. It's April 29th at Dr. Clock's Nowhere Bar down in Adams Morgan.
Yes.
What's going on?
So there is an electronic showcase. They're trying to feature a few acts that I think lean a little bit more on the electronic side of music.
They're all robots.
All of them.
Every single one is a robot.
There's one guy who plays guitars in this band, but the other three are robots for sure.
Well, that's fair.
You can't handle these sick beats.
So
That guy's
I'm
doing the robot.
trying to get
He
down to
is
the
a robot.
nitty gritty about who else is playing. All the information I know is come to Dr. Clock's Nowhere Bar on Saturday featuring J-Dubs.
You're the headliner then, right?
I
You're
assume
official.
so, but like I had asked if a few other friends could get on the bill. They're like, no, it's full. But like I at the moment I do not know
Daft
who else
Punk,
is playing.
probably.
Daft Punk.
Yeah.
I think Disclosure is going to come.
Yeah, let's just name a few of the people that could possibly be there since we don't know for sure.
I
right?
heard Barack Obama's not doing anything. He
Damn
might
it, I was
show up.
about to say Barack Obama.
I believe it's
Me and Barry are buddies.
I believe
Right,
it's
right.
DJ Barack Obama these days. I might be wrong.
So yeah, tune in.
Yeah.
Come to the show.
Yeah, come to the show. I think it'll be
JDVBBS.
RQ hashtag blue 9.
Yeah.
The 9 is silent.
Have the Black Eyed Peas been up to much? I haven't heard from them. Maybe they're in town.
Yeah, maybe they're going to come hang
I'm
out.
just saying.
Perfect.
It
But
could
I've
be
heard
anyone.
fantastic things about Dr. Clock's Nowhere Bar. I believe it's a place that was open somewhere else in DC and it closed and it reopened in Adams Morgan. I could be wrong about the location, but at one point in time it was definitely closed. When the show was brought to me, I was like, I can't find any information on this place. Like, where is it at? But then, like, he was like, no, like, it's in Adams Morgan. They're retooling the Google Maps algorithm and all that jazz.
Oh,
so I believe it's a
interesting.
new
Okay.
place. But from, I'm really cool with the people at Songbird. They have nice things to say about it.
Great.
I'm cool
Okay.
with a few people in offices over there, and they have great things to say about it.
Well, that's
so I'm
good.
excited to go, and a lot of my friends and fans are coming out. There's a chance. I'm in the process of potentially putting together a show that's going to happen at American University.
Okay.
So I think all of those
Yeah.
people who are excited about planning that show
At the
are gonna
Listener
come.
Auditorium.
No, that's the GW.
Is that GW?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it
Because
wrong.
I put in a bid to open for somebody there on
Nice.
Sunday, and that didn't go
You're
as
gonna
well.
be busy.
Well, it's always good to be playing with people that you know, and I know somebody that's
Sure.
playing that listener. So
That's
Make
awesome.
connections.
yeah,
You have connections. We don't have connections. We're going to ask you for your connections.
feel free.
In the meantime, what
We
I'd like
need
to
friends, please.
In the meantime, I'd love to play a track from you. You gave us a track called Miss Cinderella.
Yes.
We're going to play the whole track at the end of the show. So if people want to listen to the whole thing, fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show, and you'll be able to listen to the whole thing. But in the meantime, I just want to take a sample out so you guys get a sense of the talent that this gentleman has that we're talking about. So here's a sample of Miss Cinderella.
That dress that you're wearing is so beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm perfect 10 from your head right down to your toes. Baby, I'm
So is this all you? Vocals and everything?
Yeah.
You just put it all together yourself?
Put it all together
This
myself.
is great, man. This is really good stuff. Now,
Thanks.
Now to let people know, we picked a couple of songs that you sent us over. This one had a little bit of like an R&B feel to it, but you also
Yeah.
do some hip hop as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So pretty wide variety of, you have a lot of rappers sometimes that just rap and don't do the singing side. You're doing both of that, and you're setting all of the beats and doing the production as well.
Yes.
That's insane. Like that is super talented.
Overachiever.
Yeah. That is
Hate people who are good at things. It drives me crazy.
That's way better than Barack Obama, who just spins.
He just- yeah.
he's not even.
Doesn't even use turntables. How dare he?
I know it's all CDs. it's all that's alt news right there. That's all
Probably lip syncs too.
fake news.
I would hope not.
I had a DJ that lip syncs. no mic, but he just is like,
He's just-
what's up?
Right. So you have to have some engineering background in order to really put that together. You can't
Yes,
just-
that track. Actually, I think both of the tracks in particular.
Yeah.
Just because of where we were with the time frame in which we were going to release, I was like, "F it, I'll just mix it myself."
Would you like to be the engineer for this show? Because
Apparently, you guys yours just came back to life recently, so
It scares us.
you don't need one.
He's like a zombie.
We
know
like
what to
you,
do.
Engineer Adam. Don't let them ever change you.
I'm just concerned because he might have the taste for human flesh.
he was super dead.
Yeah, he was way.
It's all right. I
way
watch
down.
enough Walking Dead where I think I'm trained for that. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
So again, for everybody, J-Dubs is going to be playing. I assume this is one of the tracks you will be playing.
Yes.
Down April 29th at Dr. Clock's Nowhere Bar in Adams Morgan, which is down in Washington, D.C. And you were mentioning that you're going to be doing a big push on Instagram. So
Yes.
if people have an opportunity, please go and follow J-Dubs, and that is JDVBBS.
Yes.
It's just basically J-Dubs with two B's and a V instead
And a
of a
V.
U.
I think if you spell it wrong on Google,
Yeah.
I think it corrects you.
Really?
We've been fighting for it. I think we've been fighting for it
That's
real
awesome.
hard. So I think.
J-Dubs? Did you mean with a V?
What do you
And
mean
you're
with
like,
the V?
No.
And Liz
what?
Ashley's like, no. Why would I have done that?
How do you fight for that? You just Google it 2 million times.
Right.
it's I don't know.
It's just on your computer that it does
yeah,
that.
yeah, maybe
Right.
we can try it later.
The F whatever key that reloads the page is just worn out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll dive deeper into what it's like in the life of a J-Dub a little later in the show. In the meantime, we're going to take you on a trip through history with This Week in History. This is where we go through all historical records and pick out a few gems that we think may be particularly historically important. We serve those up to you on a silver platter. Then you pick one and let us know which, in your opinion, even just on a personal level, is the most historically important.
Let's be real. Silver platter. This is the McDonald's of history lessons.
A styrofoam silver platter. So starting
Spray
off,
painted in silver.
I'm going to go ahead and say this is the winner for the show, for the record. I'm putting all my money on this right here and right now.
Better than butter?
Yes, at least for this episode, okay? In 1770, the eraser is discovered.
Really?
I'm just saying.
Like on a mountain?
All right.
Right.
He just comes up over the hill and is like, oh.
Is that like the name of a wrestler or something?
No. English chemist Joseph Priestley discovers a piece of latex that can be used to remove pencil marks. 2 interesting facts about this. First, that means pencils were around before you could erase pencils.
Right.
Why do you have pencils? Like, the only good thing about a pencil is that it's not a pen, right?
Man,
And
the
then,
Constitution
hindsight,
would have
I
been
guess.
so much easier to write if we had a goddamn eraser.
right. Like, people are writing with pencils with no erasers and going, this is the shittiest pen I've ever used. It gets all over my hand. It's just, this is just, there's just graphite everywhere.
Dude,
Second,
we got an eraser. Chill.
Right.
Here you go.
Second, that means before this moment in time, before 1770, there are just people going, close enough. Because you can't erase, right? So there's just like cross marks that are like, just ignore that thing there. That's not it's over here now. This is like, imagine a world where you can't go back.
Imagine a world.
Imagine a world where your keyboard has no backspace, right? And you just have to keep typing where you're like, yeah, sure, I'd like to eat some stove. No, don't read that. That's not what I meant. I meant I'd like some steak. That's what it was. Ignore the first thing I said. I know this seems awkward and long, but what I meant was steak. You know, and like,
Send.
That's why I don't get typewriters. That is inked onto that page.
forever.
You can't go back.
you have to throw away the entire typewriter if you get it wrong.
Can't even pull the page out unless you finish punching in a whole bunch of wrong shit till you finish it up.
I like that we've gone historically the exact opposite direction. Before, we had things where we would write and it would be wrong and we'd have to keep it. And now we have things where we write correctly and it changes it to something else and then we send it. Like,
Frankly, autocorrect. I'm getting tired of your shirt.
yes. So there you go. The eraser discovered, I believe, is just a monumental moment in history. So that's my first item up for bid.
Well, on this day in 1775, Paul Revere did his famous "The British Are Coming" ride down the New England. I think he was running down I-95. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Just the clip clop of a horse's feet on pavement.
Just go around. Just go around. By the way, I got a memo you should get.
You've got a flat hoof.
It says British troops march out of Boston on a mission to confiscate the American arsenal at Concord.
Yeah.
And to capture Patriot leaders Sam Adams and John Hancock, known to be hiding in Lexington. As the British departed, Paul Revere and William Dawes, who doesn't get any credit ever, set out on horseback, screaming their lungs out for a very long freaking time.
And what did they yell?
Eat at Joe's, I think it was.
Right. Eat it, British!
The Born Identity was a good movie. Okay, thanks.
Right. My understanding is they were yelling the British are coming,
Yeah,
and
the British are
originally they wrote coming with a U, but they had an eraser so they could correct it. Just pointing out.
Good, it's good.
Yeah.
That eraser at that point was around for 5 years.
British are coming. We don't want to see that. Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
So no, it's an O. Oh, we should get away from here. Either way, we should get away from here.
Either way, I don't want to be here. So, fast forwarding a couple years. Thanks, Keith.
A couple years?
Yeah.
I don't think you know
Missouri
how
is
years work.
ravaged by tornadoes in 1880.
Yeah.
So, a string of deadly tornadoes on this day in 1880, statewide. 151 people were killed.
Holy shit.
Including 99 in the town of Marshfield. So, that town just got
obliterated.
annihilated. Yeah. So, keeping with our theme of April disasters, you know? Let's see. The World Trade Center didn't end well.
Nope.
What was the other thing?
The christening of the Titanic.
The Titanic.
Yeah.
And that the Columbia.
Yeah.
All these things.
Challenger. The Challenger.
The Challenger.
was
Got
also,
it.
yeah,
Got it.
first
So,
flight
yeah.
of the Challenger. That's so that one town in Missouri was basically just erased off the map.
I see what you did there.
I'm just saying.
All right. Keeping with the theme of disasters.
Yes.
Dude, wow.
On April 18th in 1906, San Francisco earthquake pretty much just levels the whole town.
Yes.
Fires broke at 5:13 a.m.
This is the great earthquake, right? That they talk about in San Francisco.
This is one like, back in the day, and then that woman, that
She
one
was
woman was
alive.
6 years old.
She was 6 years old.
She was around for this.
I heard about an earthquake.
But yeah, they felt it in South Africa. It was like an 8 point something on the Victor
Wow.
scale. Yeah, Victor scale. I said it. Or according to J-Dubs, it would be the Richter scale.
Richter.
But thousands of structures collapsed and fires broke out almost immediately.
Yes.
And since the water system was pretty much shattered, firefighters couldn't do shit. They
Damn.
couldn't put anything out. So in order to right, you're making it worse. In order to put out a bunch of fires with these destroyed buildings, they destroyed more buildings. They would level entire city blocks just to make a
Throw
space.
this building onto that building to put the fire out.
Right.
We need buckets.
We need buckets of building.
Throw buckets of building on that fire.
If only they had. Well, I mean, the eraser was invented. They probably should use erasers to
That's
erase
true.
the
If
fire.
they just erased the fire. Just saying. It's already invented.
Well, 500 million in damages. That's what it ended up being.
So we talked about last week the christening of the Titanic. Many of you may not realize this, but it didn't last long. So last week they christened it.
It was literally a matter of hours.
This week it sank at 11:37 p.m. The 4-story unsinkable ship, while on her maiden voyage, strikes an iceberg in the North Atlantic. She sank at 2:20 a.m., killing 1,517 of the 2,238 people aboard.
God, that's 3 hours. Just sink. You're wasting everyone's time.
I know. We already know Leonardo DiCaprio's going down.
Right. He had room. He had room on the damn door.
I wasn't going to say it.
No.
6 different combinations.
Right.
I've seen the pictures.
Yes.
Move the hell over.
Right.
It's cold.
Right.
It's cold and I'm tired.
I like that she's like, never let go. And
But
then
you
pulls
did.
his hand
Immediately,
off.
let's go.
I mean, after this. So, yeah, that's pretty
Stupid.
drastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
April is not a good month.
No, don't
No.
do anything in April. Just stay home.
Stay home.
It's a bad month.
You can't even stay home because an earthquake will wipe you out.
Right. Yeah. Just hide underneath your bathtub. Flip your
door
bathtub
frame.
over and hide in it. All right. Let's see. Is this me? Oh, yeah. Here's another really famous moment. Also in April, you may have heard of this. Tiananmen Square happened in China. You know the really famous picture. There's a student standing in front of a line of tanks at Tiananmen Square.
What did you do today? Nothing.
In front of a tank.
Stood in front of a tank, no big deal.
Do you think it was like those cows on the platform? They were like, he was like, oh shit. Like they were doing the thing that you do like when you're getting off of like a metro car and like you both go like to the left and you go to the right. And like, he was like, I just want to go around the tank. All right, I'm going to go to the left. Oh, you went to the left. Okay. I'll go to the, I'll stand still. You just go around me. Okay.
Right. No, I feel like it was probably a little more road ragey than that. It was like, just go around. Go around. That's it. I'm not moving from this spot. Right. Like, move aside. Like, no, I'm sitting down.
No, I'm staying here because I didn't even know tanks had horns. Holy shit, that's what that button does. The one in the back is like, I'm going to hit my horn too.
Wrong button, buddy.
Oh, that was the red button. No,
That's a really big hole.
So several thousand students gathered to mourn the death of pro-reform leader Hu Yaobang. I'm probably saying that wrong and offending an entire sect of people. Eventually, more than 1 million would gather, leading to martial law and the Tiananmen Square massacre. Those tanks, I assume, and others went and just murdered people.
They were just trying to honk the horn.
It's good when we go down to the mall and complain about whatever we feel like complaining. We can go and have like a women's march. We can have like a African American march. We can have a like pro-Trump march if we want. And barely anyone dies. Like
Barely anyone dies.
Barely anyone
Yeah,
dies.
hardly anyone. Someone's
like-
like, I had heat stroke, and that's like it. And you're like, oh, okay, well, you'll get over it.
Like an episode of Metalocalypse where every single one of their concerts, half of their fans die. It's just a thing.
That's what makes their struggles so because they gotta get new fans all the time.
Nah,
Right.
man, they're world. They're like the 7th largest economy in that show. It's ridiculous.
All right, last but not least.
In 2014,
Yes.
Mount Everest sees its single deadliest day.
April, god damn it.
Yeah. Nepali mountaineering guides, most of them ethnic
Is it Nepali? I
Sherpas?
thought it would be Nepalese.
Sharpays, are killed by an avalanche in Mount Everest, the Earth's not largest, that's a lie, highest mountain.
Yes.
It was a single deadliest accident, 29,000 feet, 6:30 a.m. How many people were killed? It doesn't say. They don't even know how many people had
Prepare
fucking
for the
died.
show, for God's sake. The one number we need. You gave us all the facts that we already knew. Oh, hey, guess what? Mount Everest is tall. Thanks.
Somebody died
Appreciate
on it.
that.
Somebody died on it.
It's dangerous. Yeah,
But,
they're
my
Sharpays.
question is, it's 2014. If this was like 1814, a
Yeah.
whole bunch of people died, like an excursion got wiped out,
Right.
I get it. But in 2014, there isn't even a reason to be cold on
Right.
Mount Everest. We've got enough technology that you could just like
Just take a helicopter.
just cruise, you know?
Take an Uber heli right up to the
Come
top.
on, man.
Right.
So like
You just
get it together.
Fly over on a plane and just like hang glide down. You just parachute on and be like, I'm here. And then you
Right.
take a hang glider and you go off the rest of it and you're good. That's
like,
how I'm going.
It takes you 2 days to land, but whatever. You
Whatever.
bring a
Totally
sandwich.
worth it.
Whatever. Take a hot air balloon. I don't understand.
But like, I feel like I'm a firm believer in if a pedestrian gets hit by a car, they were probably in the wrong place at the wrong time. You
Yeah.
know, you're asking for it. Well, these guys just get off the mountain, go home.
We have a running like a theory in our home, right? And it's when we read news and the news says tragic something rather, or something happens in tragic or tragedy where such and such. And what we look at is, did that person know it was coming? Because if they did, it's not a tragedy. That is just one of the options.
So
right?
like whether or not it was the red hand or like the little white dude walking would change whether or not it would be a tragedy if someone got hit by a car.
Right, exactly. Right. If it's like,
Slim pickings.
like a stunt driver tragically dies in
Doing-
car accident.
doing his
Is
occupational
it
hazards.
during a performance? Yes, not a tragedy. Like,
Just likely occurrence.
yeah, like, and they use that word all the time. If you're climbing Everest and you die, it's not tragic. You were climbing Everest. You knew that's not a thing you're supposed to do.
Right. The entire town of San Francisco is in a very bad place.
Right.
So
Right. Earthquake
Come
in
on, guys.
California.
nah,
Not really tragedy.
that sucks
You
for them,
knew.
but we saw it coming.
You knew. Now, if people were to die in like Iowa from an earthquake, I'd be like, that's a tragedy. No one saw that.
that
coming.
earthquake that hit us a couple of lot of years ago,
Yeah.
knocked over like 2 lawn chairs.
Have you seen the montage videos from it?
No.
Where it's like playing like Sarah McLachlan's like in the arms of an angel. And it's like panning through like yards of porches and things like that, and like one of the umbrellas is knocked over and stuff like that. Like my kitchen cabinets were open when I came home.
Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah.
The thing is,
We will rebuild.
Yeah. But you're saying that, right? But we all lost our shit.
Yeah, we
Like,
did.
We were like, what the fuck was that? What is that?
I didn't
Is
go to
everyone
work. I didn't go to
dying?
work the next day.
Yeah, right.
Because of the earthquake.
That shit woke me up from a nap.
Yeah. We left the building I was working in, and then we were like, we might be too close to this building. Like we walked further because we're like, we don't know what to do with an earthquake. Should we jump? It seems like a good idea. That way we're not touching the earth, which is quaking.
Do you guys know where you were
Makes
when
sense.
it happened?
Where
Like,
I
can you
was?
remember?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was in a courthouse. I was working in a building, and I was sitting there typing away, right? And then it felt like somebody really fat was like
On your floor.
hopscotching in the next hallway over, right? And I was like, "What are you guys doing?" And then the whole building went, "Whoa," and I was like, "I'm gonna go stand in a doorway."
Why?
For some reason, I thought this seems good. I'm just gonna go in the doorway. Could be the worst place to be. I have no idea, but my brain was like, "That seems fair. Like a doorway seems good." And that was my. And then we shuffled out onto the ground, and then where we were is right over a subway. Right over one of the metro stations. And I thought, I should probably not stand on a giant hole. And I walked over to a park and was like, I'm gonna hang out here for a while. Blows over.
Yeah, man, jumping turnstiles, that's dangerous.
I was just afraid
They'll
that
get ya.
if the earth opens up, there's a huge hole already there. I don't want to tempt fate. And so, yeah.
All right, well, J-Dubs, what do you think is the most relevant thing that we have mentioned today in history?
I really hate how well he played the subconscious game.
Yes!
Because I think I have to pick the eraser. I don't like it at all.
Damn it.
Nailed it.
But think about the things that have been written. Think about the notes that people felt bad about writing their loved ones in 1768. No more was that an
misspelled her
issue.
name. God damn
We
it.
got to start over.
And part of me wants to know what year did a pencil and an eraser come as one?
Right.
'Cause I'm sure they were definitely two separate entities.
That was way later, I think.
Or
I think we actually had that story a few months ago, and it was, I want to say it was in the 40s or something like that. It was
sounds about
it was
right.
in the
Jeez.
1800s or something like that, late 1800s or early 1900s. But I imagine monks just copying the whole Bible and then getting one wrong, fuck, and starting over.
A monk.
Bring me another Bible.
Was it a different class system? You could afford an eraser versus not being able to afford an eraser?
Well, I mean, before the eraser, the
Little
monks
Timmy
were
can't hang with
hand
Johnny
doing
because
stuff.
Timmy's family can't afford
Right.
erasers.
Can we? You just hear hey, can we borrow your eraser? Just real quick. I just have one extra zero. I just
No,
need to.
stop being poor. Damn peasants.
I thought
Get your own eraser.
thought I had $1,000. Just
Stop
have 100.
mooching off the luxury class.
If I had 1,000, I'd buy my own.
Yeah, but I don't.
All right. So excellent. Eraser wins. Everybody, that is the most historically important thing that had happened this week. So we can get back to the important things in life, which is J-Dubs.
Thanks.
Yeah. So just to reiterate, for those people that just joined us in the middle of a podcast, which is not what people do, we have a upcoming show on April 29th at Dr. Clock's Nowhere Bar in Adams Morgan, which is an area of Washington, D.C. You can hear J-Dubs playing a song Miss Cinderella along with a lot of other things. You can hear the rest of Miss Cinderella at the 1 hour mark of this show. So go to that and check it out. And make sure to follow him on Instagram at JDVBBS.
Yes.
For all the magic that he will be putting there. So what we'd like to do is kind of get inside your mind a bit. We know that science has taught us that a lot of fantastic memories, both horrifyingly wonderful and
Horrifying.
are connected to our basic senses.
Okay.
So we want to try and get into the idea of what it is to be J-Dubs and see what memories you have on the road, in the studio, while you're practicing, while you're creating music, while you're networking with other musicians that you may have had that are connected to your senses. So we'll start with the most dominant of senses, the sense of sight. Do you have something that you remember that you saw that was either amazing or amazingly horrible that has stuck with you all this time?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, how
Go for it.
Yeah, man.
I'm listening. Please
All right, so
bring it. We don't have ratings.
All right, so I sent you guys 2 singles. One of them was Miss Cinderella, the other one was Warpaint.
Yeah.
The studio in which we recorded Warpaint, I was working there at the time, and the benefit, it was this new startup, and they were like, as long as all of the engineers there at the time
Yeah.
were covering their dues, you can use whatever you wanted if the place wasn't booked.
What?
And so
Awesome.
I was like, oh, there's this cool piano interlude that I want to get down. Even I don't know if I want to use it yet.
Yeah.
But that's it was the last thing I had recorded for that album. So
Sure.
I took my car and drove over to the studio
Yeah.
at 2 a.m, not thinking anyone would be there,
This is gonna be awesome.
and definitely
2
not
a.m.
thinking that two people of the opposite sex would be there.
Wow.
Making music.
Making music.
And you just
Didn't think to knock.
you just totally rolled into the
Just rolled
production
into
booth,
it.
and you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna make some oh Jesus Christ!"
No, you know what? Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna play this piano over here. You guys just do your thing.
You guys just do your thing.
You just keep going. I'm gonna get a good mic placement on this.
Why
So
is the
that's-
D key sticky?
God damn it, Adam! You shut up.
Yeah, so I don't generally play that interlude live more often than not, but I did a show recently where I did like pulled a song out of a vault to do it, and I played the interlude afterwards, and it was like the first thing I thought of because I had played it so many times beforehand.
Yeah.
It's like an old rap song where I sampled Bon Iver Stacks.
Oh, nice.
And so I just played an interlude at the end of it.
Yeah.
And so I practiced it 100 times, just like digging around on the piano, and I was like, oh, like a track got cut and I needed to put something in there.
Yeah.
So I put it there. But I've never really been set up to play it. So I played it yesterday, actually.
Oh, okay.
Just because like the show was more folk than I thought it was going to be, so I tried to add some more.
Yeah, you're
so
like,
I tried to
nice.
match the people
I'm
where they were
pivoting.
at. I was like, I'll pivot a little bit, so I did that song. And I played the piano interlude afterwards, and like the first thing I thought was like, because it's really been like the first time I played it since then,
Right.
like which was almost 3 years ago.
Were either of the people British? Because I think we had a story about them earlier.
No, they were not.
All right. So moving on to what should be the easiest for any musician. What about your sense of hearing? Do you have any memories with that?
There's a million of them. The reason why there's a million of them is
I'm a musician.
well, no, it's a little different. So I believe, and not clinically diagnosed, have like a condition known as synesthesia. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so
Yeah, I've always wanted to experience something like, yeah, I can see music. This kicks ass. But I'm
That's so
sure that's
cool.
not at all what
no,
it
that's
is.
kind of exactly.
Oh,
So what
nice.
happens when
What it
you
is.
listen to music? Is it
So
is
it like
that connection?
it's like a colorful connection. It's not like
Okay.
I don't think there aren't like certain objects or
Sure.
certain textures that I see, and I've been reading about it more lately.
Yeah.
About like how there's a girl named Melissa McCormick, and she like runs a business like selling art, like pretty much drawing. Like she'll draw like
What she
she'll draw like
experiences.
Freebird,
The
Nice.
smell of the
Draw
color
it.
blue.
which I think is so sweet.
Yeah.
I've been, I think, talking about it a little bit more, but it's always been something.
So is it more that music becomes colors for you? Is it colors become music to you, or both?
It's definitely the former. But it's
okay.
not that like I can't see that like your shirt's black and your shirt's white and all that jazz.
You just
but it's just
know.
like it's kind of like there's like hue-ish, and I at a young age just equated certain colors with like certain keys.
Yeah.
And so it's all, I feel like it's like a superpower. And it's
Yeah.
even so
jealous.
like weird things like the refrigerator fan hums at a certain speed, and so it
Hertz,
makes a
yeah.
certain so it makes a certain hertz, so like I know what note
So
the
that is like-
refrigerator fan
Does
is.
that
or
mean
like,
do you have perfect pitch then? Because you could just do the
like
colors.
indirectly.
Yeah.
So
You could just be like humming and being like, yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
fuchsia, so that's obviously a C.
and it works with like notes and keys. Like C minor has a different color
Oh, that's so cool.
than C major, and C major's color is closer to A minor
Yeah.
because they're parallel. Like
I hate people that are good at things.
That's amazing. Oh, that'd be so cool to
so
experience.
there's
that.
like there's a million of them.
Yeah. How about your sense of smell? Do you got anything linked with your sense of smell? That's
yes.
usually the strongest.
The most recent memory was I was shooting a music video for a rap song that me and two friends recorded, like just to use for promo for a show.
Uh-huh.
And part of it we recorded in front of my old like apartment growing up, like on Glade Drive. Like,
right here.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Freetown Court. And so we shot it like right in front of my apartment, and like it smelled like just what I remember it smelled. Because there was like an Indian couple that lived underneath us, and they were always cooking all the time. And it
Oh,
smelled like
okay.
I don't know if it was the same people.
Like curry,
It
yeah,
smelled
yeah.
exactly the same.
That is like when somebody Indian is living near you.
Yeah.
Because you're like, it's that smell.
everywhere.
It just
And you're-
permeates everything.
and you're hungry
So it was
all the time.
so funny to be sitting like on the stoop
Yeah.
And then, like and we didn't have the doors then, but like there's glass doors now. But as soon as it opened, like
Oh, wow. Oh, well, we've run out of time. Thank you so much for coming. We got
Thanks
a few
for
more
having me.
senses to
J-dubs.
get to, so we'll have to have you back, and
Hey,
we'll
that
go
works.
through and do this again, all right? Sounds great. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So coming up this week, again, April 29th, Dr. Clock's Nowhere Bar in Adams Morgan, which is in Washington, D.C. Shout out to the AWH mob. Join it by liking us, following us, retweeting us, and sharing the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and we will mention you here on the show. Next week, I have no idea who's coming in. I haven't booked it. We're just going to live by the seat of our pants. Usually we know ahead of time. So sorry, I'm not responsible right now. If you've enjoyed the show, email us at contact@anotherwastedhour. If you hated the show, send your complaints to Sean Spicer. He'll apologize for it eventually. Thanks to Kevin Evinger, McNally22, Justin Rogers, Phenomenal Records, Alchemical Records, and Engineer Adam, who apparently came back on Easter, for all their contributions. Thanks to Victor and J-Dubs for wasting a good hour with us. This has been Another Wasted Hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.
Miss Cinderella, 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 Miss Cinderella. You're the prettiest girl that I've ever seen. You're something out of a fairy tale or a dream. Your stepsisters, they never treat you right. Oh, your stepmother, she keeps you locked and tight. But we're stepping out tonight. Let's go. Miss Cinderella, 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 yeah, Miss Cinderella, Miss Cinderella, Miss Cinderella. That dress that you're wearing is so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A perfect 10 from your head right down to your toes. Baby, you're perfect, yeah. Oh, you said I had to get you home by 12. Tick, 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 tick. Oh, but I don't think that I can help myself. I just wanna treat you well. Let's go. Miss Cinderella, 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 Miss Cinderella. Yo, she said she come from nothing, but she got everything. And it's a shame her family don't give her anything. I'm hoping maybe that one night we can do this again. She's stepping up, she on a Brianna Evakin. Link the club type, but like to go out dancing, huh? Tuxedos and ball gowns, you fancy, huh? Waltz under the stars, I dip her under the dipper. Now all I gotta do is find a slipper. I know you got it. Miss Cinderella, 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 Miss Cinderella.